professionals who enter people's homes, plumbers, electricians, cleaners. What is something the condition of a house tells you about the owner that they don't realize they are revealing? Maybe not what you're looking for, but I once worked in a house in winter who had the fireplace going with the flue shut. The house was blanketed in smoke and they disconnected all the smoke alarms. When I showed them how to open the flue, they both lost their minds. Apparently they'd been living like that for years. I would love to be that oblivious. It seems easier. Yikes, but kudos on possibly saving their lives, either from long-term exposure or that one fateful day with too much co. I used to paint home interiors. 40 years of being in other people's homes. One customer was the retired municipal court judge. His house was neat as a pin, almost minimalist and tasteful. He wanted to have his basement floor epoxied. I told him it would take 2 days. I'd move everything to one side of the basement and paint half. Then the next day I'd move everything to the other side and paint the cleared side. Gave me kind of a funny look and said, let's go down to the basement and you can measure. Cool. We go down there and besides the furnace, the only other thing down there was a fold-up ping pong table. The place was immaculate. You could eat off the concrete floor. I have never seen anything like it. That's almost 40 years ago and it still amazes me. My basement is full of stuff. Old furniture, Christmas decorations, tools, you name it, it's down there. Folded up the ping pong table and slid it into its niche and everything was good to go. Nothing even to sweep. The judge ended up being a great client and a very sweet guy. He was very good to me over the years. Most organized man I ever knew. It turns out he went to Annapolis and was a naval officer in WWAI. I wonder if that's where he got it or if it just came naturally. Probably a little bit of both. I went into one house, a pretty nice house from outside, and there were boxes and boxes of stuff everywhere. My helper said to the homeowner, "Are you guys just moving in?" After a moment of silence, the homeowner said, embarrassed, "We've been here 10 years. I told my helper later not to ask people questions like that. I feel less bad taking a year to empty that last box Elmo. Lots of people here are talking about how gross people are. Some people are just quirky. Went into someone's house, mover, and everything was pink. Floor, walls, ceiling, furniture, their clothing, etc. Except their bedroom, that was lime green. I was a visiting nurse and went to a patient's house that was filled with clocks. I'm talking clocks everywhere. Clocks on the wall, clocks on the mantle, grandfather clocks, cuckoo clocks, nautical clocks, desktop clocks, even little pocket watches on his side table. Every type of ticking clock you could imagine, this guy had. He was in his 80s and spent his days winding up and tinkering with all his clocks. Some of them were really quite beautiful, actually. But yeah, clocks. I've never seen anything like it, and I've seen a lot lol. In my day, autism didn't exist. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to wind my 967 clocks. I used to deliver furniture and appliances, and one of the store's selling points was that we took the old items for free. Houses people smoked in were the worst. We replaced a sofa for a customer, and when we pulled the old sofa away from the wall, there was an almost cartoonish outline of it. Except it was outlined by years of cigarette smoke. The walls were white, but stained yellow as you would expect. Beyond disgusting and sad to think about what it does to a person on the inside. My dad doesn't understand why we aren't taking more of their old furniture and stuff. 60 years of pack a day smoking my guy. I often had the opposite experience, stepping over junkies to get to an apartment in the projects, only to have the door open and reveal a little oasis, an immaculate and cozy space. I worked as a home care case manager for years. Countless cases of walking into the most notorious housing projects in my inner city to see someone's abuela who has never let a single fleck of dust settle on her furniture. This idea that poor people are dirty or that rich people are fastidious is laughable. Worst for me was a litter box on the kitchen counter. Goodbye, sweet internet. These people bring food to office potluck, and that's why I don't eat that shite. My dad did home renovations and repairs during the winter time. He has his top 3 awful homes, the worst being the piss house. He was called out for a bid on all new flooring. When he pulled up, the smell hit him outside. He broke off 2 cigarette butt filters and shoved them up his nose and put an N95 mask on and stepped in. First thing that happened was the squishy carpets. Every surface of the carpet was soaked down to the subfloor in animal urine. It ate all the way down through the subflooring. The original hardwood floors were covered in black splotches of urine-soaked areas. The house was lined with walkways shuffled and made through piles of piss-filled boxes and trash. There were so many cats and dogs running around with shit-covered paws. The cockroaches were so bad that they were visible in broad daylight. Needless to say, he called animal control and turned down the job. I always feel so bad hearing these stories of animals and kids being forced to live in squalor. Breaks my heart, They didn't get to choose where they live. The number of inoperable cars/lawnmowers in the front yard can be a signifier of how disorderly the inside is. I have been proven wrong, but ordinarily this was a big sign. My dad's family had the parking lot test to determine the safety of a neighborhood. If there are a lot of broken cars on the street or driveway, it's not a good neighborhood. Older cars are fine as long as they look to be in good condition. The funny thing is that my grandparents' house did not pass the parking lot test. I travel a lot in the UK for work and I have the TTT ratio test. That's tattoos to teeth. Lots of tattoos, lots of teeth. That's probably hipsters and you'll be fine. You'll get good coffee. No tattoos, no teeth, that's old people. You'll be fine and probably get good tea. Lots of tattoos, no teeth, that place is sketchy AF. You'll probably get glassed. When I was a medical student, we had to do home visits to patients who lived in the area assigned to our clinic. In Brazil, we have a public health program called Saúde de Família, Family Health Program, where community health workers regularly visit every household in the neighborhood to check basic living conditions: clean water, sewage, sanitation, make sure patients are taking their medications, and understand why they might be missing routine medical appointments. As students, we had to accompany them to experience firsthand how our health system actually works. One day, we entered the house of a bedridden older man. The door was opened by a woman in her early 20s. We asked where he was, and she calmly said he had gone out. While the community health worker started looking around the house for him, I stayed talking to the young woman. The house was filthy. There were food containers and leftovers scattered everywhere, rats and dirt. The smell was a mix of sour, rotten, and damp. The health worker eventually found the man chained in a dark back room, with no light, lying on a mattress completely soiled with feces and urine. Although he was bedridden, he was fully conscious. He told us she had locked him there because he had used more than 2 diapers in one day, and that he had been kept like that for at least 10 days. We immediately called the police, social services, and an ambulance. I know he stayed in the hospital for around 20 days to treat all his ulcers, and the young woman was arrested. I can still remember the smell and the conditions he was living in. I have never forgotten that. Holy shit, thank goodness you showed up to save him. Do I fear death? No, I don't even understand the question, really. So I fear old age? Absolutely. That's just one example of why. Also, very fortunate not to have a significant medical issue. Used to sell floors and had to do in-home appointments. I have seen some of the worst when it comes to messy. The one that did it for me was I went to an appointment for Jessica. I knock and an 8-year-old boy opens with 2 malnourished dogs coming to sniff my shoes. I look around and there is trash and feces everywhere and the smell was unbearable. I ask the boy where is his mom, Jessica. He says my mom is in the mental hospital. I said, okay, where is dad? He says, I don't know. He hasn't been here in days. Then the 8-year-old boy goes to show me this gigantic hole in the floor. It was in fact the little kid who booked the appointment in his mom's name. I told him, let me call my team to make sure I pick the right floor for this, stepped out, called my manager, and told them about the situation, and I immediately called the police for a welfare check. That was my last week as an in-home flooring salesperson. I hope he is in better position now. I retired as a paramedic with the fire department after 22 years. This type of story is way more common than people think. The amount of people living with dead animals in their home is astonishing. Also, for some reason, people love to use the bathtub as their toilet. Edit, I don't mean they pee in the shower. I mean they urinate and defecate in the tub and never clean it. Massive piles of months or years worth of feces. It's shockingly common. My friend used to work as an insurance adjuster. Went to a house where the toilet and tub were full of shit. Human shit. When those filled, they started shitting in 5-gallon buckets, all in the house on the floor. He stepped in shit just going inside. No heat. Roof collapsing. Massively overweight woman in bed with multiple dogs. My friend told them their claim would probably be denied. Guy got furious and went for his shotgun. My buddy Full sprints it back to his van with his ladder. Guy screaming out the window of the shit-filled house as he guns it and drives off. I thought the story was insane the first time I heard it, but apparently a lot of people are doing this, which just makes it sad TBH. I'm a cleaner, but most of the houses I clean are already fairly clean. I can definitely infer things about how lived in the house is. I can tell the people whose family life is very important and have a lot of fun with their kids because their houses have messes in places, crayon drawings, projects, photos up a lot, and travel books or summer camp brochures. Other people might not have kids but have lots of pets or cooking messes, artwork on all the walls. I can tell these people are homebodies sometimes, but they try and live life to fullest. Some people the vibe is colder, less clutter or mess, everything in its place. Less cooking oil and spices spilled on the stove. The furniture in the living room is less indented, disturbed. Cleaned a house once where it looked like the husband and wife lived on opposite sides of the upstairs and hardly interacted. A social worker I knew told me she was always relieved to see either of two things on her welfare checks: healthy pets or lots of books. The former indicated a loving household, the latter at least a bare level of intellectual curiosity, both of which obviously are beneficial for children. This is such a wholesome take. The person with pets, artwork, and a few edges of splashes in the kitchen. I adore my cleaners. Yes, it's a paid service, but they help me make my home a place that I like even more than I did before. It genuinely feels like they take care of my space and take care of me as well. The professional cleaners, once a month, give me the extra time and motivation to keep my house up and clean a little bit more than before and do little projects to improve it. Thank you for what you do and the kindness with which you do it. Plumber hear everything. If you just listen, they tell you everything. You just look at a mess and they will tell you exactly who, what, where, when, and how of it. 50% is lies because they can't face themselves, but their posture give that away. I used to judge. Now I just want to hug most people. Life is tough and they are doing what they can to survive. Yes, sometimes that means they become drug addicts, what we consider waste cases. So many hoarders. There's a collective grief that it seems everyone is holding right now. A longing for being allowed to put the fakeness down and just been accepted for who they are, mess and all. To be real. Everyone puts this world up on social media and won't allow anyone to come over for fear of breaking that image. I've seen cold as ice, spotless homes where working for days and you never hear the husband and wife talk to each other. Other times, they try to drop all their world's problems on you. It's not so much looking for conditions of their house to pick up clues. You just need to stop talking and listen, and most people never stop revealing. It's like they were holding a breath just waiting. Also a plumber, and I fully agree that most of my clients seem like they are barely holding on. So many homeowners already spending 80% of their income on their mortgage, wondering how the hell they are going to fix major issues in the home, or patching things to get them through. Can't tell you how often I want to give someone a hug and just tell them things will get better. Renters dealing with scumlords, older ladies that can't find work, single parents sleeping on the floor without a mattress, revictions. It's tough some days. One client of mine has dementia. I go by once a week to pull whatever she's flushed so her care aide won't find out. Care aide doesn't care at all what her patient eats, but she lived a life hiding what she ate from a husband and now thinks everyone will yell at her for having a snack. We don't charge for visits anymore. She's so kind, apologizes every time. In my city, we're one of the lowest hourly rate, and the owner stands by that rate because he doesn't want to price out regular working folk. Even then, I try to trim my billing to bare minimum with a lot of clients. My husband is a pest controller, and the things he sees would literally make your hair curl. Babies covered in bed bug bites, with parents who cannot be bothered to do the prep work needed, such as washing the baby's bedding before the treatment. I kid you not. Beds alive with bed bugs and living like it for years. People living with rats as part of their normal life. The ones with the cleanest homes always apologize about the mess, while those with the filthiest, smelliest, cluttered to the max homes never even hint at being embarrassed by their state of living. This is not just a coincidence. A lot of people who are messy simply don't see it as an issue. People who take the time to clean do it because they see being messy as a problem. In between are the people who are messy all the time except when they're expecting guests and then they straighten up. It's all a matter of perspective. Reminds me of an online confession I read a while back. It was something like, my gross roommate who never does his share of the cleaning is currently cleaning the apartment really well because he has a date coming over tonight. He's going to be ghosted, and I know this because the date is me. I made a fake online dating profile. It's the only way I could think of to get him to clean. As someone who has been associated with both homes and automobiles, I can tell you that I will never eat at a potluck again. The big thing I noticed is the smell of houses, whether the owners keep windows open to air it out. I've been in a lot of homes that the owners must have gone nose blind as the smell is so stagnant and stale, possibly even moldy. I feel bad for the kids of these people cause there's been kids' bedrooms that have never been aired out, it seems. I was one of those kids. I knew how much my house stank, but there was nothing I could do about it beyond trying to clean my own bedroom and secretly opening my bedroom window as much as possible, even in winter. I would periodically bleach the black mold growing on my walls from about the age of 8. It didn't really work since it was deep in the wood and drywall. As a teenager, I was so worried about smelling like my house that I burned incense in my room day and night. All the other kids thought I was a massive stoner, but I didn't even try weed in high school. I just thought smelling strongly of Nag Champa was better than stinking like stale air, dog shit, garbage, and all the other smells that come with neglect. Corporate banking by day, professional organizer on the side. My ex-husband was a legitimate hoarder, and even when it came time to sell the house as part of the divorce, he barely lifted a finger to help declutter the marital home. Outcome: I was forced to clear out the entire house. I couldn't afford to hire professional help either, so the effort fell entirely on my shoulders. There was stuff piled floor to ceiling in every nook and cranny of our now former 4,000 plus SQFT house. Harrowing as the experience was, it was also inspiring, and so I launched my own small business doing home organizing decluttering. Generally speaking, people with tremendous clutter tend to suffer with mental health issues, especially ADHD. Their unwillingness to part with stuff breaks my heart. Not only does it pose challenges during the decluttering journey, but my heart also breaks for them, because the clutter takes up extra space in their brain, too, and therefore causes extra stress in their lives. Here to tell my fellow OCD friends to get out of this post. It's not for us. I caught myself in time, and you should come out with me, lol. As an electrician, it hurts to see how society sidelines older women for jobs and pay. I see way more barely furnished house and units for single women than I do for men, and I charge them way less as a result. Is it good bussiness? No. But I have to sleep at night. Many years ago, I was a single mom, and every day was a struggle. I lived in a very old house, and the heat was always going out. The HVAC guy always took such good care of me. I remember calling early one Saturday morning on the coldest day of the year, and when he got to my house, he said, "I just couldn't stand to think about y'all sitting over here cold." He worked magic on that unit over and over. I'm telling you this because I want you to know what an impact your kindness has had on these women. That was 15 years ago, and things are much better for me now. But when I think what it means to truly be a good person, my HVAC guy immediately comes to mind. I will never forget him, and I'll be damned if I'm not teared up right now just thinking about it. Thank you very much for watching. In the comments, you can share your story, and don't forget to check out other videos on my channel.